Are you tired of being constantly zoned out, trying to win the EXP lane, but some heroes are just constantly smashing you? Don't worry, my chat friend, I'm here to show you how to beat all the annoying fighters and become the one true Sigma among them all. Hi guys, Kazuki here, and in this video I am here to tell you how to counter all the meta fighters so you can get rid of all the annoying wall builders and sand throwers. Hey guys, before we get started with today's video, I want to thank you so much for helping me reach 1.5 million subscribers. I know I have said this many times before, but I truly thank and appreciate every single one of you who subscribed to the channel. As promised, we gave away the epic skins during the last live stream, but we only managed to give away 10. For the remaining 10, tune in to the live stream on March 8th to see me give away the rest as promised. So stay active, subscribe and comment down your favorite part of whatever video you are currently watching. Don't lose hope, you can still win. Let's start this video off with the most popular fighter right now, Badang. Badang has become a menace to society in this meta because of the amount of stuns he delivers. Badang can break so many formations that it is not even fair. Not only can he get so many Thunderbolt stakes, which can make him super tanky, but he can also stun low Q with so much CC and walls. Now how do we deal with this unfair, annoying CC machine of a hero? Dealing with Badang in the laning phase is not really the problem because there are so many heroes who can out-sustain him and out-damage him. Heroes like Thamus, who are not even in the meta, can deal with him. But Badang doesn't shine in the EXP lane during the laning phase. Where Badang shines is in team fights. So to counter him, picking ROM heroes like Kufra and Minsitar. Belric is also a good counter for Badang, as all his skills count as basic attacks, and Barretts can also counter Badang thanks to his passive's resilience. He can just eat him up while Badang is using his ultimate to stop him. For builds, Boots and Brute Force Breastplate are your best friend thanks to their CC reduction passive. And Anti-QS is always good against almost all heroes. Survival items like Winter Crown, Rose Gold Meteor and Wind of Nature are a must if you are a squishy hero against Badang. For general counters, stay away from bushes and walls. If you don't have dash skills, Purify is a good spell against him, but you can't walk through walls with Purify. Think twice about picking heroes without dash skills when you are up against a Badang. Dodge when he dashes towards you, it should save you from his deadly combos. Now let's move on to one of the newly added EXP lane menaces, Lukas. Lukas is amazing. Not only does he have a stupid amount of CC, but he also has so much CC immunity and is super tanky. Lukas is always a very strong EXP laner from the start of the game. There are very few EXP laners who can win a 1v1 against him, which makes him terrifying to go up against and win. So how do you beat him? Lukas is very strong EXP laner, so to counter him, pick heroes who can out-sustain him. Terizla, Ruby and Yu Zhong are good picks inside the EXP lane. Minsitar is also a decent pick, but he can use his ultimate to get out of the Minsitar's circle. For builds, build penetration item in early game. He has a thick defense, so you will need some penetration to take him down. I recommend going for Fury Hammer as your first item when you are against him. You can branch it off into either Hunter Strike or Blade of Aptases. Now let's check out Alpha, one of the most picked fighters who is played both in the jungle or the EXP lane. Alpha is a very strong fighter who can deal a lot of damage and counter all the tanky heroes. His jungle clear is super fast, so he can rotate around. And you can't invade him because he is very strong from the early game. He is also unkillable because he has so much sustain. Even if you build all the defenses, you aren't losing out on that much damage because he has true damage. So how do you counter this true damage monster? Well, it's pretty simple. The only way you can counter true damage heroes is by building more HP. There is no other way to counter it. You can also sidestep his skills. Anti-heal is a must whenever you are up against him. For heroes counter, you of course have the classic counters like Kufra and Minsitar. Hylos is also somewhat okay against him because of his huge HP pool and natural tankiness. It's just very hard to counter heroes like Alpha, but he can be played against if you just don't let him snowball early. He will be strong, but he will be bearable. Up next is someone with muscles of iron and balls of steel, Kacha. Kacha is sitting at the 18th spot for the win rate and the 10th spot for the pick rate because he is just that good. I know you are tired of seeing him and end up banning him in many games because you just can't kill him, no matter what you do or how you do it. This is thanks to his passive. And his ultimate is excellent for disrupting enemy formation. So yes, he's super annoying to go up against. How do you counter him? Magic damage and magic defense. Gatot's passive doesn't give him magic defense whenever he takes damage. It only gives physical defense. Heroes like Nathan, Sylvana and Guinevere who deal burst of magic damage can melt Kacha down. Penetration items are also great against him. Always build Fury Hammer at the start if you are against a Gatot in your lane. The newly buffed Dairot also did Gatot for breakfast, lunch and dinner in the EXP lane. Hilda with her defense reduction passive can also take down Gatot easily in the EXP lane. In team fights, Diggy, Faramis and Matilda can be lifesavers if you are able to time their ultimates properly. Build a silence drop in the early game and upgrade it into radiant armor in the late game. This will help you counter the vengeance he often brings. If he goes full damage for some reason, putting on Athena's shield should help out a lot. Up next is a hero I'm sure you all are tired of facing off against, Julian. Julian is great, he hasn't been touched with any nerfs or buffs in a long time. And he is still very strong. From the early game, Julian is super tanky despite how he looks because he has the second highest base HP among all heroes. Julian is very flexible hero who can be played in multiple roles, which makes him a nice pick in almost all scenarios. He also has a crazy low cooldown on all his skills, which makes him very tough to go up against. Pick heroes like Joy, Harith, Fanny, Ling, Wanwan and Irithel, he will struggle to keep up with these heroes. For build, start with Silence Drop. Then upgrade it into Athena's shield. You can also build Dominance Eyes to reduce his attack speed if he is going for an attack speed build. Up next is the master of the shadow clone, Jutsu himself, Sun. Sun is a strong fighter who thrives on his clones, overwhelming enemies with his consistent damage and slowness. His clones makes it hard to focus on him during fights, and they allow him to dish out damage while avoiding some targeted abilities. How do you counter Sun? Heroes like with AoE damage like Terizla, Khalid, Esmeralda and Audit can easily take down his clones and weaken his effectiveness in fights. Additionally, marksmen like Claude with their high mobility and AoE ultimates can deal with him efficiently. When facing Sun, Dominance Eyes is a great item to reduce his attack speed and Anti-Cuirass helps mitigate his damage. Always try to target the real Sun and avoid prolonged battles since he excels in sustained fights. Up next is Hilda, the mommy in the bush herself. Hilda is a powerful fighter, especially in the early game. With her shield and passive regeneration in bushes, she can dominate the lane and roam effectively to secure kills. How do you counter Hilda? Heroes that reduce her defense and weakens her regions like Sylvana, Hanzo, Dairot and Alpha are all great against her. They can quickly deplete her HP before her shield or regeneration kicks in. Sustained focused EXP laners like Terizla and Yu Zhong can also survive her aggression and turn the tables in the mid to late game. Anti-heal items like Sea Halberd and Dominance Eyes are crucial to reduce her regeneration. In the late game, build Immortality or Anti-Cuirass to survive her heavy hitting ultimate. Avoid bushes unless you have vision, as Hilda gets a significant advantage there. Let's move on to someone who is going to throw sand in your eyes, Khalid. Khalid is a high mobility fighter with great sustain, making him a dominant presence in the lane. His AoE damage and regen allow him to control the pace of fights and his ultimate can disrupt enemy formation. How do you counter Kali? Pick poke heroes like Badang or Hilda who can harass him and cancel his second skill. Sustain heavy EXP laners like Terizla or Dairot can outlast him in the lane and force him into defensive play. Heroes with CC like Kufra and Ruby can also prevent him from dashing away when low on health. Build tips. Anti-heal items such as a glowing wand or sea halberd are a must to counter his sustain. Position yourself to avoid his ultimate and remember that timing your stuns or CC during his regen can also stop him from healing. Next, let's move on to Jumping Circus Clown Cici. Cici is an incredible EXP laner who excels at roaming, dealing tons of damage, and being nearly impossible to catch or kill. Thanks to her insane spell vamp and passive. She is extremely durable and her synergy with War Axe and her first skill allows her to output a ridiculous amount of damage. So how do you counter this jumping jack? First, to counter Cici, build items like Dominance Ice and Anti-Curious to reduce her sustain and damage. These items are especially effective at shutting down her spell vamp and lowering her threat level. Additionally, pick heroes with high burst damage to eliminate her before she can deal significant damage to your team. Be mindful of your positioning. Avoid grouping up when you know she has her ultimate ready, as her crowd control can be nightmare to deal with. Keep your distance and focus on kiting her to prevent her from building stakes. Finally, let's end the video off with the frustrated dad and how to counter him. Terizla is a tanky fighter who can dish out massive AoE damage and control zones effectively. Though slow, his ability Pack a Punch, making him dangerous foe in the EXP lane. Heroes with high mobility like Fanny, Ling and Wan can dodge his abilities and whittle him down over time. Long-ranged mages such as Chang'e and Sicilian can also keep their distance and deal heavy damage. Sustain heavy fighters like Thamus can hold their ground against him in the lane. Build tips. Penetration items like Malefic Roar or Divine Glaive work well to reduce his tankiness. Anti-heal is a must against him. Focus on mobility to avoid his slow but heavy hitting abilities. When team fighting against him, spread out to minimize his AoE damage impact. So guys, what do you think? What other heroes did you want to know how to counter? What counter tips did you think I left out? Comment down all your answers below. And also a big shout out to our Kazuki Plus members. Thank you so much for being a part of this fam. Not only you all are showing your support, but you guys are also giving me the strength to make more awesome contents. I highly appreciate the love and support from you all. And those who are new, please join us as we have lots of fun stuff coming exclusively to members. So that will be all for this video. Thank you guys for watching. Keep supporting Kazuki Official.